there has been a lot of intake and uptake by the local market, which is good.
Welcome to the Museums of Illusions, and today we are hosted by Wakio, who is the content and marketing lead at Museums of Illusion. 1 year, 4 months in East African market. How has the performance been?
So we are happy with our first year and what we've experienced, like the love, the referrals. We've a lot of user-generated content, which means our customers are our greatest ambassadors.
And also, did you know that in East African market, Uganda is one of the leading destinations that come to Museums of Illusion?
But Uganda has been interested in us, and I think it's the same thing about the referral. People who have come for business trips, they take the word around, and we've seen a lot of influential people both in the digital space and also in the media space coming to Uganda. Our collaboration with the Magical Kenya Travel Expo also aided that. We were also featured in some of the major newspapers in Uganda, so I feel like we've had quite some good collaboration there.
And academia is actually taking the lead. We call all corporates to come and partner with Museums of Illusions.
When the MICE delegates come in for their business conferences and business meetings, we definitely want to provide a space where they can engage, a space where they can interact and sort of have that special conversation, or just a space where after very difficult sessions that can relieve their mind.
Why is the MICE market a very interesting demographic for Museums of Illusion?
Yes, I think, not I think, but we find that MICE also attracts people during our off-peak hours and our off-peak season. So you find that we are well established.
Is it true that Museums of Illusion is expensive? What is the perception of that? This is expensive.
I
have to break the bound. How do you justify that?
We are not expensive in the sense that our rates average in the market in terms of entertainment places. When we were celebrating our anniversary, we actually wanted to also launch our CSR, and we did this by giving them 1,000 tickets where they can give out to schools for them to come and experience the Museum of Illusions. In the past year, we had schools reach out individually. So we are hoping to get into the business and tourism space and events actually. And with that, it's basically reaching out to the stakeholders, the decision makers in these sectors, and ensuring that we are actually recognized not only as a global brand, but as a destination for delegates to come and do something outside the conferences. Our current matatu right now takes you to Samburu culture. And this is one of the untouched cultures in Nairobi. So we worked with an artist. Again, we try to work with local artists. We worked with a photographer. He's called Edwin Miner, and his work is beautifully displayed in the matatu. We are going to make your conferences and your achievements more engaging.
And just like that, more engaging. And this is a Museums of Illusion. This is a MICE stand. Welcome, and we are at the Museums of Illusion. In fact, it's the happy birthday, 1 year, 4 months into the East African market. And today we are here to look at the performance. Now that they have been in the East African market, what has been happening into the industry? And today we are hosted by none other than Wakio, the marketing director of Museums of Illusion. How are you, Mercy?
I am good, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to catch up with you. It's been a while. I know we've been planning for this interview for the longest. It's now 4 months, but at last we are. And as the Waswahili say, hayawi
Hua.
Fantastic. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy birthday once again for Museums of Illusion.
Thank you.
So how has the experience been?
So the first 1 year has been good. There has been a lot of intake and uptake by the local market, which is good. And we are continuing to push and to just build our brand and the awareness around it. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Now, how does it feel working with the first ever museums of illusion in East Africa? How has the experience been?
The experience has been mind blowing.
Yes.
Sort of no one prepares you for it in the sense that there are so many touch points, so many stakeholder conversations to have. So you're not just pushing in one market, but in different markets, and there's peak seasons, there are peak seasons, so it's a lot, and that's what makes it enjoyable at the end of the day. Yeah.
Interesting. So I think we can actually get an insight of exactly what's happening into the museums of illusion. And we've seen Nairobi has been one of the key clientele that you've been trying to push alongside other East African countries. So how's the performance been so far?
So with Nairobi, it's basically been our local families, a lot of young people. So we've been able to cut across all ages, if I may say that. So we are happy with our first year and what we've experienced, like the love, the referrals. We've a lot of user-generated content, which means our customers are our greatest ambassadors.
Of course, this place is definitely photogenic. And actually, let's talk about the merchandise. So you've seen, apart from the museums of illusion and the experience you're offering, so also you are able to ensure that some of the guests or visitors who are able to experience museums of illusions, you also have an opportunity to go home with some of the brain teasers.
Yes. So basically, we have one of our exhibits or rooms called the Brain Gym. And when clients come, they solve games and puzzles and, get to show their critical thinking skills, their problem solving skills. So what we say is that you can take some of that home. And into sustainability as well, our dilemma games and they are sustainable because they are wooden games. And because Kenya, as everyone knows, any tourist who comes knows that we are plastic free. So I feel like when they come here and they find the wooden games, they are extremely excited to take them back with them home.
All right, interesting. So Uganda has been one of the key source markets when it comes to the East African community. So why Uganda?
Yes. So I think the Ugandans love us and we also love them. Bananas. So we've seen so many visitors coming from East Africa, but Uganda has been interested in us. And I think it's the same thing about the referral. People who have come for business trips, they take the word around. And we've seen a lot of influential people, both in the digital space and also in the media space, coming to Uganda. Our collaboration with the Magical Kenya Travel Expo also aided that. We were also featured in some of the major newspapers in Uganda. So I feel like we've had quite some good collaboration there.
All right, interesting. So I understand that Kenya, one of the key challenges we've been having, it's developed tourism products and Museum of Illusion is a unique product that you're offering into the East African market, not only Kenya. So what informed the decision of setting up the illusions of museum in the East African region?
So I would say tourism in East Africa is already at a high. Like we have so many people coming to East Africa just for the wildlife and all those things. However, we saw that there was a gap. There was a gap when it came to experiential tourism, which is what we offer. And then you find our decision to particularly come to Kenya is because Kenya is like the Silicon Savannah of East Africa, of the region, and also of the greater Africa. Our uptake for digital, we are well connected digitally. We find that Kenyans even trend when it comes to platforms like X and all that. So this was a very good and stable market for that reason. And then also, our directors are from Kenya, so that also informed the decision. They love Kenya. They love the art scene in Nairobi, especially the diversity, the cultural relevance that we could tap into.
All right. So I think also Museums of Illusion is integrating science, that is physics, into art.
Yeah.
So how's the response been? You know, they go for STEM.
Yeah.
And they find science a very complex subject.
Yeah.
So how does Museums of Illusion ensure that physics is received properly to the market?
Yeah.
Just commercializing this science.
Yeah. So we are at an interesting place where we bridge education and entertainment.
Wow.
And you find that even most of us, the movies we watch,
Yes.
we like movies that also intrigue our minds.
Correct.
And we kind of brought that and brought the experience here. You find even one of our exhibits shows how movies are made, how the dwarf and the giants,
Oh, yeah,
how that comes to be. So you find that as much as people are loving the photos, they are also curious into how this was made. And I think that's where the science and the maths and the physics come into place in explaining how such concepts come alive.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's informative. So what demographic has the Museums of Illusion been targeting or attracting this market?
I would say we are a unique destination in the sense that we are able to capture people from all ages.
Yeah.
So you find kids from 6 years old can find something to do and enjoy, as well as someone who is 80 and above. Yeah. Not to say that he's the oldest, but yeah, it's interesting because when you come here, sort of your inner child is expressed.
So wicked.
Yes.
Inner child.
Yeah, 100%. So you find from serious corporate teams, CEOs who want to do something different after their business meetings, they're able to come here and have fun, as well as school trips for grade 4s. They still come and have fun, as well as kids who are coming with their parents. I think also growing up, it was rare to see your parents letting loose. So this class, exactly, they were very strict. Do your homework. Yeah. So when you come to a place and you see your parent making some faces and they look human, it kind of appeals to everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that means I think the bigger market is mostly the family.
Definitely the families. Yeah. And then also, since we are also getting a lot of corporate inquiries, we're also seeing that segment as well. Nice. Tourists who come, there's a percentage of families, but you see people who travel maybe in groups and they're able to have fun. So we are able to target a diverse range of people. Yeah.
Nice. All right, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it true that Museums of Illusion is expensive? Not expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah.
I have to break the bank. Can you justify that?
We are not expensive in the sense that our rates average in the market in terms of entertainment places.
Right.
And also, I think one of the feedback we've received when people come in and they pay, they're like, when they're leaving, they're like, oh, you mean I would have experienced all that, So you find that we are average. We are averagely priced. We are not too expensive.
Nice.
And we found many people having us as a bucket list. Nice. So if you want to do something, you definitely save for it. So some people do that.
Nice.
Some people just come in on a random Friday night. Yeah.
So corporate market is something that you've actually mentioned.
Yeah.
What are some of the packages or solutions that Museums of Illusion is offering for the corporates?
Yes.
That are in finance, healthcare, tech.
Yes. So basically, we saw a lot of corporates after we launched coming just with their teams for a different environment than the office.
Yeah.
And what we did is we partnered with a local company that is offering team building. So we kind of tend to merge our exhibits plus their expertise in making teams come together. And we use this location. It's very unique. It's indoor as well. So the two come together and work perfectly for teams. Yeah.
I've actually experienced one of the best staffs that you guys have in this place.
Yeah.
And do they go through training? What does it take to come and work in Museums of Illusion? Because goddamn, we had to entertain physics.
Yeah.
In fact, there's some of the analogies that it was so hard for me to understand, but how they explain to you, they take you through, you appreciate the science.
Yes.
Yes, let's talk about the human capital.
Yeah. So we are actually a place that pride ourselves in actually looking for resources, human resources, also in places that people would have not gotten the opportunity otherwise. So we do a lot of training, a lot of capacity building, and we offer that equal employment activity. Yeah.
All right. So also on there, when it comes to the mice sector, the mice industry, it's something that Museums of Illusion is trying to tap into the mice market.
Yeah.
So then, how do we ensure that you're able to tap into the mice market? What solution do you have for the mice markets?
Yes. So we've been for the past year also engaging mice stakeholders.
Yeah.
And what we are offering is when the mice delegates come in for their business conferences and business meetings, we definitely want to provide a space where they can engage, a space where they can interact and sort of have that special conversation, or just a space where after very difficult sessions that can relieve their minds.
Correct.
And then the fact that we're also in Nairobi, it's an urban feel and something exciting to do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I know nothing comes easy, and we understand that each and every business has its own challenges.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges that Museums of Illusion has been experiencing,
Yeah.
especially now entering into this market?
Yeah. We've had to do a lot of awareness on who we are.
Right.
There's always that unsurety, if I may say that, when it comes to a product that people don't know.
Yeah.
But the reception has been amazing.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
we can't complain in
All right.
that sense. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. So, and something else we are looking at, it's the reception from the market. So, is it a part? Are you servicing only Nairobi, or are you also seeing more engagement into other Kenyan counties?
Yes. So our major marketing efforts have been to Nairobi, but more recently we're also tapping into other counties that surround Nairobi. We've also seen a place where people from the coast, when they are visiting Nairobi to see family or just for work, come into the museum.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that one actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we have seen right now tourism. We're talking about technology, and technology is one of the key pillar that drives the tourism industry.
Yeah.
What are some of the technological solutions that are able to drive business in Museums of Illusion?
Yes. So we are very technologically centered, or technology centered, if I may say that.
Savvy,
Tech savvy, because we find most of our exhibits, they need a phone camera to be able to see them. And then also the fact that we take lots of photos when the clients come, when guests come, that also allows us to be at the center of tech.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what are some of the partnerships that Museums of Illusion is looking up to, and some of the partners that maybe you are working close together with?
Yes. Yeah. As discussed, we were at the Magical Kenya Travel Expo.
Yeah.
So being also partners with KTB is something that we are continuing to foster.
Correct.
Also, the education sector is something that we are continually building with the private schools and also with the public schools. Yes, and now with the mice sector.
So speaking about academia, we understand that when we all grew up, we used to talk about going to KICC, going to Nairobi National Park, and also going to Mombasa. And right now, I think during our era, we didn't have such stuff. So then, how do we ensure that schools that are planning for trips, they also include Museums of Illusions in their itinerary?
Yes. So basically, we normally invite for farm trips.
Yeah.
Yes, especially with the school owners or decision makers.
Correct.
So we normally reach out and tell them, come see what we offer and see whether it's aligned with what you're teaching. And most of the feedback we've been getting is they are also mind blown. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. So I saw recently you did a CSR program. You signed an MOU with Kepsha.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes. So we've been working with Kepsha since last year, and our first engagement was with their Mazingira Day, where we planted trees in Nanyuki with one of the schools they had selected. We worked with Kavadi, which provides trees for, places that are arid and semi-arid. And then we followed after with their annual conference that hosts so many head teachers, and it was an awareness opportunity because most of them had not heard about us.
Yeah.
But since we also identify that public schools, most students might not have the opportunity to come here, when we were celebrating our anniversary, we actually wanted to also launch our CSR, and we did this by giving them 1,000 tickets where they can give out to schools for them to come and experience the Museum of Illusions. In the past year, we had schools reach out individually, schools that are clearly not able to afford coming, and we have students coming, and actually some of them even write essays after. Yes, like my trip to Museum of Illusions, Nairobi. And what we're saying, what we're saying is organizations can now partner with schools and actually sponsor a visit to the Museum of Illusions. So, for example, if you sponsor grade 6 students, we make sure we sponsor maybe grade 5 or grade 4. So, for every ticket donated, we will match it. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
So in terms of sustainability, so what are some of the initiatives for Museums of Illusion to ensure that it's sustainable and also inclusive?
Yes. So I think how we employ our workforce, we make sure that there's inclusivity. We not only go to look for human resourcing, the typical places, but we also give an opportunity for those people who would otherwise not have gotten the opportunity, and we do a lot of capacity building there, as well as now in terms of sustainability. We make sure that most of our visitors are actually local. So this experience has been localized in terms of the people who can afford it. We make sure the Kenyan audience or the Kenyan market can actually afford it. So I think that those are the ways we are trying to be sustainable and also to be inclusive. Yeah.
All right, that's great. So this year now turning, I think the this year will be turning 2 years into the market.
Yeah.
So what are some of the anticipation for the year? Some of the things that you guys need to
Yeah.
anticipation for this second episode, this season 2.
So basically, the two products that we launched, our CSR and our team building, we are hoping to generate a lot of interest with those two products. We are happy with the awareness we built when it comes to our family audiences and our visitors and our tourists, but also trying to expand into the regional markets. Yeah, those are some of the things.
All right, so I've seen you've done something. There's something new you guys have done with the is it the revolving matatu or something?
The reverse room.
Reverse to matatu.
Yeah.
I think there's a new renovation, something new into it.
Yes. So basically, the reverse room features, it's actually localized. During our first year, we worked with Moha, the one who does a lot of
graphics.
Yes, Moha Graphics, the one who does a lot of matatu. And we were paying homage to the Nganya culture in Nairobi. And we know matatu tours have now become a thing. But right now, we are very cognizant that the tourism industry, for it to be sustainable, group travel is like at the core of it. So we've seen a lot of young people embrace this and use matatus to go to different locations. And because they are also experiencing these places in groups, then it becomes more sustainable in that sense and more like forgiving to the environment they are going to. So our current matatu right now takes you to Samburu culture.
Oh, wow.
And this is one of the untouched cultures in Nairobi. So we worked with an artist. Again, we try to work with local artists. We worked with a photographer. He's called Edwin Maina. And his work is beautifully displayed in the matatu. Yeah.
All right, interesting. The tourism industry in Kenya actually is booming, and the domestic market actually accounting for around 60%. So, what is the outlook for the future of tourism?
Yes. So we've actually been beneficiary of the domestic tourism. Yes. And that's the only way the country can be sustainable when it comes to tourism. When maybe airlines have,
when the borders close.
Yes, when the borders close, then what happens? So our largest market is actually the local and domestic visitors. And we want to continue maintaining that, as well as welcoming, because we are the only Museum of Illusions in East Africa. We want to still be that place where people from other countries can come and, have a sense of wonder. Yeah.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the new. I've actually seen some of the new. How do you call them? I've seen some of the new offerings that you guys providing.
Yeah.
So then, how does Museums of Illusion integrate science, arts, and experience?
Yes. So our exhibits are basically meant to evoke wonder, and the way they work is through a lot of concepts borrowed from science, physics, math, and also art. So basically, when people come and the sense of curiosity is how does this happen? We then get to explain through science, of course, how the things came to be. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because it's also an interesting phenomenon. As I said, as we started the interview, that Kenya is heavily known for the social sciences, that's the art. And STEM is something that actually I've been fearing for the longest.
Yeah.
And now you're making science feel cool.
Yeah.
You're making science be cool. So in terms of partnership, so who are some of the key strategic partners that a Museum of Illusion is anticipated to close in the coming years, and
Yeah.
current partners you have?
Yeah. So we are hoping to get into the business and tourism space and events actually.
Yeah.
And with that, it's basically reaching out to the stakeholders, the decision makers in these sectors,
Yeah.
and ensuring that we are actually recognized not only as a global brand, but as a destination for delegates to come and do something outside the conferences. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does Museums of Illusion ensure that it's able to tap into other East African countries?
Yes.
So
So
being concentrated only in Kenya,
yeah.
so we also to see more market access into other East African countries like Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, and Ethiopia.
Yeah. So we are looking into working with other tourism boards from different countries. And also for us, I think the digital space is big. So we pride ourselves in being a creative place. So we want to continue to segment that not just in Kenya, but also in the wider East Africa region. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So as we wind up, why is the mice market a very interesting demographic for Museums of Illusion?
Yes, I think not I think, but we find that mice also attracts people during our off-peak hours and our off-peak season. So you find that we are well established when we have holidays, we have weekends, and when you look at business and conferencing, it happens during the weekdays.
Yeah.
So I think there's potential there to bring in more visitors during such days, and also just to be known that we are the perfect venue for business delegates. Yeah, yeah.
All right. That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Because Kenya recently, not recently, actually, Kenya is actively pushing for the high sector.
Yeah.
And some of the development we are seeing, it's airport expansion, the construction of the Bomas International Convention Complex.
Yeah.
So how is that investment or the infrastructure development going to promote how is Museum of Illusion going to benefit from that?
Yes, we hope as Kenya expands its offerings for mice and bring in more visitors and actually just also position itself in East Africa for mice, we also hope that it will translate with the number of delegates who come to just not only look for leisure, but also for business things to do while they're on business. And yes, we believe we are a unique urban offering because we're interactive. And we have something to offer to the mice industry.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but in short, we can tell something to our viewers. Yeah. But in short, to our viewers, what Museum of Illusion is open to.
Yeah.
Them. Yeah.
So we want to welcome stakeholders in the business community and in the business and tourism events, if to be precise. And we want to say that please consider the Museum of Illusions as you're going to put up itineraries for Nairobi. We are seeing a lot of interest when it comes to conferences and events. So we know that we are going to make your conferences and your achievements more engaging. Yeah.
And just like that, more engaging. And this is the Museums of Illusion. This is a milestone.